Hello everybody, Beth back with another art book review, and this time we're going to be doing a review on the book Human Anatomy for Art Students. And as you can see, it's from Sir Alfred Fripp and Ralph Thompson. Now, I'm not going to lie, going through this book, I found it to be more like a textbook. So it was very sciencey, a lot of memorizing bones, joints, and muscle segments individually. However, it does have good examples and diagrams like before and towards the back in this table of contents. Like I said, it's got different diagrams, muscles, front and back, mostly for male subject, but they do have some for female. And of course, it's got some more in the back too. Like I said, though, it's more wordy than it is specific picture-like breakdown examples. But one thing that I kind of was a little bit disappointed on was it didn't have a lot of differences between male and female subjects, because obviously there's going to be muscular differences between, guys and girls. But it did say that there were differences, but it didn't really go into detail as to what those differences were and how you can put them in your drawings, because I draw a lot of female characters. I can draw male characters too, but I like to be able to know the differences, and I'm sure others feel the same. Be able to learn what the differences are between male and female, so if I draw a girl, I don't want it to look like a guy if I'm more inclined to draw guy characters or vice versa. So that I wasn't too fond of, but overall it was very insightful and, like I said, a lot of reading, a lot of memorizing. So we'll go ahead and get started. And this one's Chapter 1, Human Anatomy for Art Students. Same as the title. And this talks about the skeleton, and basically it covers like overall the bones in the skeletal system with their abilities and the range and movements and how they work with each other. Chapter 2, this is the coverings of the body, and this talks, obviously the skin is going to be what covers you, and it talks about its functions and its properties, how it works, what it does, and stuff like that. And Chapter 3 is the regions of the body, and this a basic overview of the different regions, and it like upper extremity, lower extremity, trunk, neck, head, and it breaks them into like these subdivisions. And it's also kind of like a review of what's going to be coming in the next chapters. This Chapter 4, this breaks it down. It talks about the upper extremity. You learn what parts make up that upper extremity section and the functions, how they work with each other. This one's going to be more of the muscle makeup than anything else, and what each part does and what it's capable of doing. And so basically upper extremities is from the shoulders up. And the Chapter 6 in this chapter talks more about the movements and the range of motions for each part. So when we get to Chapter 6, we're going to skip it. And then Chapter 5 is the same thing, but this one talks about the lower extremity. You're going to learn about the different parts that make up that segment, their functions, how they interact with each other. And then Chapter 7 is going to talk more about the movements and range of motions of each. And the lower extremities is basically everything from the waist down. And like I said, when you read the book, it goes into more details on that. Chapter 8, had to count there for a second. And this one talks about the trunk. This is another different section. And you're going to learn what parts make that up and how they work together. And that's basically going to be the upper back to the abdomen is what makes that up. But of course, it goes into way more details. And then chapter 9, breakdown of the head and neck, what parts that make those areas, including it also has like the anatomy of the face, muscles and stuff like that. And then chapter 10, I think that's 10. Yeah. This is learn how the muscles cause facial expressions and which muscle causes each expression, like how the forehead crinkles when somebody's scared, angry, or enraged, stuff like that. And it has some drawn examples too, like what muscles are the most commonly used for different expressions. And then chapter 11, and this is like I said, it goes into a little bit of difference, but not really in full detail. This talks about the difference in proportions of the sexes. It does mostly like sizes. Like women's hips are wider than men's shoulders are wider than women's, but I mean, that's like basic knowledge for anybody. People know that, even if they're not into art or anatomy, they understand that. And basically it just talks about the different size proportions from infancy to adulthood to old age between men and women. And that's what chapter 11 and 12 talk about. And then they have the appendix, and this one I thought was really neat because it compared the anatomy between humans and various different animals, from like monkeys to horses, deer, dogs, frogs. It compared the feet, arms, and stuff like that. And then it also has some nude examples, like very old examples. I'm not even really sure when this book was first published, but all the pictures they have are in black and white. But that is pretty much it for this one. As I said, it's more textbook style than it is art book style, but it does have good advice and good information in it that's still usable today. So I hope that you found it useful, and if you do plan on getting it, I just will warn you that now. It does not have very many examples, drawn examples. So if you're not a visual learner, then you will probably be okay with this. But anyway, as I've mentioned before, any comments, questions, concerns, comment me down at the bottom. And if you have any kind of preference or would like me to do a review on a certain book that you've been having your eye on for a while, if I don't have it, I will get it. And it may end up being the next possible art book review. But anyway, that is it for today. So, I hope you guys have a good day.